You've got nerve walking into a military installation without advance warning, Batman. But I respect the directness. Most civilians don't have the clearance or reputation to just show up here unannounced. What's so urgent that the world's greatest detective needs to brief a soldier on something? Usually it's the other way around with you working solo. This must involve threat beyond Gotham's scope. Talk to me.
I wouldn't waste your time with anything local, Captain. I'm here because you understand military operations at scale. Organization, command structure, resource management, territorial control. I'm dealing with criminal enterprise that operates like military force. Shadow, led by M.Bison. He's not standard mob boss. He's warlord with supernatural abilities commanding army across multiple countries. Your tactical knowledge of how such organizations function is exactly what I need right now.
A crime boss running military-style operation across international borders. That's beyond detective work. That's military intelligence territory. What makes this Bison character different from standard organized crime? Is he politically motivated or just power-hungry? Understanding his ideology helps determine whether we're dealing with terrorist organization or pure profit-driven syndicate. Both require different containment strategies. Give me operational overview so I understand scope of threat.
Bison doesn't care about profit or politics. He cares about proving himself the strongest warrior alive. He collects powerful fighters, defeats them, absorbs their power through something called psycho power. It's psychic energy he manipulates to fly, generate blasts, enhance strength beyond normal limits. His army serves his conquest agenda. Shadow exists to find strong opponents for Bison to fight and conquer. It's egocentric warlord playing crime boss as cover for his real goal. Global domination through military might.
Psychic powers complicate threat assessment significantly. Conventional weapons become secondary to supernatural abilities. But every military force has structural vulnerabilities. Communication networks, supply lines, command hierarchy, morale. If this Bison relies on personal power for control, removing him destabilizes entire organization. Question is whether the organization functions without him or if he's just linchpin holding everything together. What's his command style? Centralized control or distributed leadership?
Completely centralized. Bison's so dominant that every operation flows through him personally. Other commanders exist, but they're terrified and subordinate. Losing Bison means losing unifying force. The organization fractures immediately, but killing him isn't a viable option. His psycho power regenerates damage, makes him nearly unkillable through conventional means. I need to remove him from command without lethal force. Containment that suppresses his abilities so he can't escape or fight back.
Non-lethal containment of enemy with regenerative powers is specialized problem. You need environment that neutralizes his specific ability rather than his body. If psycho power is psychic in nature, we might be able to block it using electromagnetic disruption. Military's been researching neural interference systems for years. They disrupt brain activity at specific frequencies. If we can identify Bison's psycho power frequency, we could create field that suppresses it. Has anyone analyzed the science behind his abilities?
I've been working with specialists. Psycho power functions through neural pathways similar to consciousness itself. It's psychic energy channeled through will and focus. They theorize electromagnetic field tuned to his specific frequency would suppress it. He become normal man temporarily. That's when we move for capture and hold him in facility designed for psychic containment. But we'd need trigger moment to activate the suppression. Just setting up device won't work. We need him in specific location when it activates.
Creating trigger moment requires bait. You need something that draws Bison out of hiding and into location where electromagnetic suppression device is active. What motivates him enough to leave secure base and expose himself? You mentioned he collects strong fighters. That's leverage. Strong opponent he can't resist testing himself against. But finding such opponent is difficult, and risking their life to bait out Warlord is ethically questionable. Who's your proposed bait?
Let's get Robin's input.
Bison's psychology is narcissistic predator mentality. He doesn't just want to win. He needs opponent to know he's superior. That's why he keeps fighters alive and fights them repeatedly. Stalemate drives him insane because it questions his superiority. If we find fighter who can match him without losing, someone who frustrates him through defensive excellence and refusal to submit, Bison loses psychological composure. Angry Bison makes mistakes. We don't need perfect stalemate, just one long enough for suppression device to activate during his rage.
Using psychological frustration as window for equipment activation is solid thinking, but we need fighter capable of lasting against enhanced warrior without dying. That's incredibly specific skill set. Military could provide trained operative, but risking soldier against psycho power enhanced opponent is sending them to probable death. Street Fighter community might have such person, but recruiting civilians into military operation gets complicated legally. Who's your fighter going to be, and how do we ensure they survive the engagement?
Ryu. Street fighter with incredible discipline and intuitive combat sense. He's unknowingly developed resistance to psycho power through his own martial philosophy. Bison's been hunting him for years, considers him worthy rival. I'll approach Ryu, explain the situation, give him choice to participate. He'll agree because it's chance to resolve his conflict with Bison. They'll fight. Ryu will match him but won't win. That frustration triggers Bison's rage. When rage peaks, we activate suppression device.
You're betting operation success on Street Fighter's willingness to participate and his ability to frustrate enhanced warrior. That's risky but operationally sound. Military provides extraction team, medical personnel, air support if things go wrong. You manage bait placement and device timing. When Bison engages Ryu, device activates, powers suppress. Military moves in for capture. Simple execution but multiple failure points if timing's off or Ryu gets killed before suppression takes effect. What's your contingency?
Master Bruce, Captain Price. I've been monitoring this discussion. Using Ryu as bait creates unacceptable risk of his death. Even with military support, there's window where young fighter faces enhanced opponent alone. Suppression device timing could be fractionally late. Bison could mortally wound Ryu before neural suppression activates. Have you prepared medical extraction protocol for immediately removing Ryu if he reaches critical injury threshold before suppression takes effect?
Medical team positioned at engagement site with extraction equipment. Moment Ryu's critically wounded, they move in while suppression device overclocks. We prioritize keeping him alive over perfect suppression timing. Military provides air support for rapid extraction if ground extraction fails. We have multiple contingencies for protecting Ryu while ensuring suppression device activates close enough to capture Bison. It's acceptable risk level with proper safeguards in place and backup plans coordinated.
Acceptable risk with proper medical support and extraction protocols changes calculations significantly. This becomes workable operation. We coordinate military assets with your intelligence network. I'll position extraction team and medical personnel at agreed location. You manage Ryu placement and suppression device activation timing. When Bison engages Ryu, we execute capture sequence. Warlord loses command structure. Organization collapses, threat contained without unnecessary death. Let's prep this operation and move forward professionally.